No, I'm not perfect, no. I made my mistakes and no, but all I want is love unconditional. Love unconditional.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy T. Roy.
And I'm Chaka, his co-host.
Yes, and we are here for Beauty and the Beard. Hey, a lot of y'all don't know Chaka's family's name. One of her side of the family name is Beard.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say Beauty and the Beard, we're really talking about the beauty and the beard.
He's jealous. I don't know why he'd be jealous, but he's jealous.
I don't know why I wore a black shirt today. I shouldn't have wore a black shirt. My beard blends in with it unless I extend my neck.
Yeah, but the Yahweh stands out so well.
It does, but it's hidden behind the microphone.
It says ha or hi.
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Oh, yeah, and it's backwards.
No, it says Yahweh. It's backwards to us, but
Oh.
when we finally put it out, it won't be that backwards. Welcome, everybody. We are back again. We are here for a very special Beauty and the Beard. It's our birthday.
Yay!
It's our birthday. Yeah! And depending on when this releases, either Chaka's birthday would have passed, maybe both of our birthdays would have passed. But this is our birthday months. We are so close together in birthdays. Chaka's birthday is January the 31st.
Yes.
And my birthday is, can you guess it?
Not significant.
It's so lame.
His birthday is February 15th.
February 15th.
Day after Valentine's Day.
Yes, the day after Valentine's Day. Which, for real, so when I tell people I don't like Valentine's Day, it's not because of my birthday. That's not the reason why I don't like Valentine's Day. I don't like Valentine's Day because of something traumatic that happened back when I was a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main reason why I don't like it.
Thank you, whoever you are.
And since you asked what that traumatic thing was, I'm going to go ahead and tell it, all right? This is by way of our intro for today. So what happened on Valentine's Day back in 2002, that's when I graduated from high school. I'm old. In 2 years, it'd be 20 years that I would have been removed from high school.
So for the record, that would be the same year that I met Troy. So this happened in February, and I met Troy sometime in the fall when
Like
he started
August.
school.
Yeah. What's that got to do with anything?
My point is, they messed it up right before I met you.
Right.
And forever messed up. It's forever messed up because of them.
But you didn't want to have anything to do with me back then anyway.
That's besides the point. I got you in the end, but I wasn't the one that did it. So
True.
it happened that same year, and then you met me, and we became friends and all that great stuff, and it's too bad and unfortunate that your opinion didn't change.
So what happened? February 14th, 2002. So the typical thing in Martinsville to do for Valentine's Day is you get your girlfriend a teddy bear, you get them some chocolate, flowers, and then you also get them like some jewelry. If you're really special, you got them some jewelry, right? So I did that. And this is not my girlfriend who ruined Valentine's Day for me. Actually, she really appreciated it at that time. So I gave her gift, right? So I brought it to her class. So also in that class was her girlfriend, her good friend. And what happened was her good friend's boyfriend brought in her gifts prior to me coming in. And so she told me, she was like, I wish my boyfriend would have got me a teddy bear and some jewelry and some candy and all that stuff, right? And
hold on, you gotta tell the story the way you normally tell it.
How do I tell it?
You normally tell it by saying what the gift was your friend did, and then the response.
I'm about to tell it right now. So I'm like, so what did your boyfriend get you that you didn't like it so much? She was like, this is what he got me. and it was a box of flowers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, cool, a box of flowers. That's all right. I mean, it's not a teddy bear, and okay, but it got part of the gift. And on it, it was a written note that said, "Our love will last as long as these flowers will." And I was like, what's so special about that? And inside was a plastic rose. And my mind was blown. I was like, that is so dope. Like, 18-year-old Troy at that time. Well, I was 17. The next day I turned 18. But I thought that was like amazing. I was like, you didn't like that? She's like, I ain't like that. And ever since then, I realized that Valentine's Day is so superficial. Super duper superficial. I proved to you 365 days of the year that I love you. And 364. But on this specific day, I have to show you extra, extra love.
So wouldn't that be true of a birthday also? I proved to you 365 days, but in Troy's mind, 364 that I love you. And then on this one extra day,
this is
your
a celebration
birthday,
of my birth.
I have to prove, which you had nothing to do with.
I had everything to do with it.
No.
I'm the one that made it to the egg. I'm the one that made it.
No, wait a minute. You don't understand how reproduction works, do you? Because you said you're the one that made it to the egg.
I'm the one that made it to the egg. I beat out all the other ones.
That's sperm, babe.
I know.
It takes
beat
both
the
of
seed.
those together to make a child.
I'm the one that won.
No, you're not the one that won. Because that's like saying you were the egg that got selected.
No, that's not the truth.
You're the one that didn't shut off. I mean, it takes the two. It takes the two.
I know it takes the two.
Otherwise, you're just an unfertilized egg from a chicken.
But this is the day that the blessing of Troy came into the world, and we need to celebrate that.
I'm sorry, guys. Apparently, me didn't do a good job. I didn't do a good job of teaching my husband about how the scientific part of reproduction works.
I know how it works.
He knows how reproduction works.
Get out of here.
But the scientific part we'll have to talk about.
I know how it works. No. I don't need that. Anyway, so that's
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for your contribution.
On that cold, wintry night. Now, it might have been in the summertime. If we were born in January, February.
Then it would have been...
we were conceived.
End of the summer. Or kind of summer. Yeah, summer. No. It would have been the end of spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of spring. Or the beginning of spring.
Somewhere in there. Thank you.
Appreciate it. I holla at you. But yes, we are here to talk about our specific birthdays that are coming up. My wife and I were both Aquariuses. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. I don't really. We don't really do the sign type stuff.
I don't get a special gift, so
yeah. So I don't know what y'all can take it for all those who like to read the stars and all that type of stuff and know about people's signs and stuff. Y'all can figure that out, whatever that's supposed to be. But my question for you, Mrs. Burnett, are you excited?
I am.
Why are you excited?
Because in the last podcast I shared that
What did you share?
You're so corny. I shared that 2020 was going to be a big year, and it just feels like it's going to be that kind of a year. I don't know if it's the fact that it's unique, that it's 2020 and there's something special about the numbers or the full decade. I don't know. But 2020 just feels like it's going to be this absolutely amazing year. And so in addition to that, it's a big birthday for me. I am a decade baby, which means every decade I turn a major year. It's a big milestone. I enter into the next age group, next category. So this year I will be, drumroll, whatever, I can't do it. 40.
40 years old.
Yes.
Are you serious?
I am in my last and final days of my 30s right now. I will be 40 years old on Friday.
That's crazy.
Yep. And I'm excited. I don't know why, but it's just, You know, when you're young and you're whatever age you are, and people tell you, oh, you're still too young to understand, or, you know, you're still, I don't know. They say that about marriages and things like that. And when you've only been married for a few years. And I don't know, getting older to me just feels like I get a little bit more respect. It feels like I've had a little bit more experience under my belt. In addition to that, you're only as old as you feel. I mean, my body is definitely doing the telltale signs, but I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I don't feel like I'm old. I feel like I'm older, but I don't feel like I still can't do the stuff that I did before. It's just another year. Someone made a comment and they were talking about the fact it was a more senior person who said, I will never lie about my age because every day and every year that I make it to, it's actually a testimony that I am another year older, that I made it that far. And so I thought about that, and when I told someone I was going to be 40, they're like, oh, you're going to be your first 39 or your second 39 or something like that. And I said, no, I'm going to be 40. And when I'm 46, I'm going to be 46, because that person made a good point. We know, at least I do, a couple of people who didn't make it this far, who for whatever reason, most of them were an accident happened, didn't make it to their 40th birthday. Patti LaBelle, when she made it to her 50th, had a huge party because all of her siblings died before they reached 50.
Really?
Yes, diabetes took them out, and she's still living, and she's way past her 60s now. So those examples to me are why I'm celebrating. I'm going to be 40.
Heck yeah, she's going to be 40. That's what's up. And we're back. Sorry, technical difficulty. But that's exactly right. I totally agree with you as far as celebrating every single year. Like, it's kind of funny, when I turned 34, I thought I was actually turning 35. So I thought the whole year that I was 34. And then I turned 34 and I was like, I get a whole year back. But I'm not going to fight it. I mean, I understand 40's around the corner. 40's around the corner. Lord have mercy.
Maybe for you, but not for me.
40 is tomorrow.
Yes.
Next week. Oh, just about.
Just about.
Just about. So I'm glad you're excited. I am excited about my birthday too. My birthday's coming up in February, as we mentioned before. And I don't know. My birthday's always been something that I love to celebrate, mainly because it comes with gifts. And if anyone knows me, my love language is gifts. If you give me a gift and walk away, we're good. That's all I need. I don't need anything else. You could just give me a gift and walk away. That's literally all I need. But yeah, I'm excited about that. So I'm excited about the gifts. But here's the problem about that, though. I don't know what I want. I legit don't know what I want for my birthday.
Which is my issue every year. So at Christmas time, I like to buy, well, I guess it's not Christmas time. I like to buy Christmas gifts early. I got that from my mom. And so I'll start shopping as early as July. I don't care about a sale. I don't care about all that stuff because the hassle of being in line on Black Friday is not worth it to me anymore.
Shout out to Black Friday, though.
Mm-hmm. And so I started asking Troy over the summer, what do you want for Christmas? Just to give him time to think about it. Come October, Troy, what do you want for Christmas?
I don't be knowing.
Okay. Come November, or close to Black Friday, I don't know what I want for Christmas, but I'm going out on Black Friday to find everything I think I might want. So then at that point, I've just kind of been watching him along the way and seeing some items that he's picked up and wanted, but then put back down and thinking of whatever. But it's a hassle. So I tell him, give me an extensive list for Christmas, because whatever you don't get for Christmas, I'm going to get you for your birthday. So you can imagine I'm trying to get two for the ask of one, and it never works. Because here we are close to his birthday and he only gave me two things that he wanted for Christmas. Well, I got one, his grandma got the other, so...
You got to surprise me.
Yeah.
I need a surprise.
We all
Have you
know
been
how
paying
that
attention
works.
to me this whole year to know some of the things that have been on my heart that I want for my birthday?
So here's another
That's the
thing.
question that we need to ask. Have you been paying attention to me all year to know some of the things I may want?
I need you to ask me that question on February 1st when it matters. But you don't ask me what I got you for your birthday when it's leading up to mine.
I see, for you, when it comes to celebrating your birthday, it's super easy.
Because I tell you.
You want an adventure, and I don't like that. Like,
He started
for Chaka's birthday, she tells me, all right, this is what I want. I want this, I want this, I want this. So where's the surprise? Like, I want to surprise you with something.
In the execution. No, it's not to say that you can't still surprise me. The issue is Troy will not get anything that I had on my list or anything that I asked for in the preparation or an event or what have you, because he wants complete surprise. So it's like, hey, how about you do the things or get the things that I'm asking for and then add something to it on the top. That's a surprise. So it doesn't mean you can't surprise me, but what happens is you're like, I think I'm just going to go off the cuff and do what I think she's going to like, or get her what I think she's going to want, or do it in my version, my way, even though she told me specifically. And then we'll just see how it goes.
Now that you think about it, it actually kind of makes sense.
And then she's just going to be really appreciative.
But I don't want to do it because I'm a rebel.
Yeah. And so then he gets upset when I'm like, this is cute.
You're going to love whatever I give you.
You do a great job though. Like Troy plans the best birthdays. I'm not gonna lie. Well, the best birthdays for the two of us.
What was one of your favorite birthdays I did? Go ahead, tell the people.
Can you guess which one my favorite birthday was?
I think it was 31.
It was 31.
Although 30 was amazing.
31 was my favorite birthday.
That's crazy.
No, 30 was amazing. And
30 was amazing.
30 was really good because he did so many different, there were elements of 30 that made 30 really good that you really can't compare.
Go ahead, tell the people. Go ahead and tell the people, you know. I mean, it was some light.
Okay.
Some light.
So for my 30th birthday, Troy, I had said I wanted to have a white party. I wanted a party where people dressed in all white and the ambiance was mostly white. I mean, not ambiance, the environment, like, you know, was set up with white decor and things like that. So I was in Maryland at the time and Troy was in Virginia. And he came up to Maryland and got me.
2 hours.
Blindfolded me. Right?
She went to sleep.
And I went to sleep. Yes, I did. Because it's an over 2 hour drive.
You really did go to sleep for real.
I went to sleep. I was blindfolded.
New school Chaka, I know that you would have went to sleep, but back then I
went to sleep.
I kind of imagine like you stayed awake, like we talked or something.
Nope, there was nothing for me to see. I couldn't see anything. I know. Now I might have stayed awake for the first hour and then I went to sleep, but I definitely slept for part of it. So then we get to our destination. He takes off my blindfold and I'm at the Boys and Girls Club. Yes. And a bunch of friends and stuff are there and they're like, happy birthday and stuff like that. There was a celebration. My parents had come, I think a couple of aunts.
Your brother, sister, and your mama came.
Some of my friends from college were there. So it was really cool because people came in that I didn't expect. And again, it's over a 2 hour drive and they were there. So that was really exciting. We danced and had food and it was just really good. It was really good. And then to add to it, which I kind of consider a birthday present for myself, mind you, at the time we were friends. Yeah. And then
we were getting married later that year, right? This is 2010, right? Yeah, it's 2010.
Yeah. And oh no, we were engaged. You're right.
We were engaged.
I'm thinking of two separate birthdays. Okay. Because for my 28th birthday, I think it was, that's when you told me you were still interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's what I did for her 30th, right? So 2 weeks later is my birthday. You don't want to know what she did for me on my birthday? She had me kidnapped and beat up by my friends.
I had him kidnapped, and to go along with it, which was not, I don't think it was my idea. You know, if you're going to kidnap someone, you have to kind of make it seem like
when you involve my
you're
homeboys, they take any opportunity they can. So Chaka had me blindfolded in the car, drove me around the city to like throw off my orientation and stuff like that. And then she pulled up to the spot, and then my door opened. I didn't open the door, and Chaka was right beside me. I'm like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. I get dragged out the truck. I get dragged out the truck and beat up by my boy. Like they weren't supposed to beat me up, but they were supposed to come to the car, get me, take me into the facility, and then we were supposed to celebrate. No. They pulled me out dragged me out the truck, had me on the ground, kicking me, punching me, and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, it was comical, and I do appreciate it. It was a good time. I do appreciate that though.
Yeah, and it was a bowling alley. So then a group of people were there, and we went bowling. So I think it turned out really well. That's probably the biggest thing he remembers from the whole event. He's like, they beat me up. I'm like, but it was a surprise, and your friends were there, and we bowled, and it was a good time. He's like, they beat me up.
They beat me up, and
why did you have them beat me up?
And I knew they were taking me into a public place, so I started saying things out loud to like make them feel embarrassed, because I'm still blindfolded. I know it's my boys, and they're like carrying me in. I'm not walking in. They're carrying me in, still punching me and stuff like that. And I'm saying outlandish things just so people can look at them and like want to call the police and stuff like that. But in today's society, you shouldn't do stuff like that. But anyway, but yeah, that was definitely a fun birthday. My other favorite birthday that we had with one another, that you did with me, I don't even know which one this was, to be quite honest with you, but I do know we were living in Maryland. We were living in an apartment in Maryland, and we went to go see Mike Epps.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that dude live is hilarious. And RG3, when he was playing with the Redskins, he was in there too, and he cracked on him the whole time. It was great. It was great.
And we started that day off. We got up, I think we had breakfast, and then we went rock climbing.
Yeah, I was also sick that day, and we went rock climbing. And
we did the rock climbing. We did the rock climbing wall.
Did the rock climbing wall? Yeah. We went out in the elements, especially not in no February in Maryland. No, we're not doing that.
Not these two.
The other birthday. Well, it was one birthday that was great in theory, but it was bad timing. You took me to the jump park.
Yeah.
And I love the jump park. I love the idea of the jump park. Like it's awesome. You know, you've been to a jump park before. You go into a place, there's a bunch of trampolines, you're jumping up and down, you're doing flips and stuff, you know, jumping into all this the pit of foam and stuff like that. Like you're slam dunking. Super duper fun. I had a bruised tailbone at the time.
So
I literally earlier that week bruised my tailbone. Maybe the week before. I was going up for a layup, and in the morning time basketball, I had gotten a steal, went for the layup, and the dude didn't even go for the ball. He straight tackled me midair, and I landed on my butt. The part that made me mad the most was not that he knocked me on the ground, but I missed the layup.
That birthday, though, wasn't just that you had a bruised tailbone. That was a bad day. So Troy had a bad day that day.
How was it a bad day?
And I think your birthday was on a Thursday.
Was
and so work related? We went after work, and after work you're already tired. And I had actually planned an activities and events version of a birthday. So we were supposed to start off his birthday at the range, but he got off late, so that we didn't have time.
Oh yeah.
Because I had purchased of all the events we were doing that day, the jump park was the only one that had a scheduled time.
Right.
And so to get to the jump park and do the range first, we didn't have enough time, so we had to skip the range. And then we went, so it's supposed to be the range and then the jump park, and then I think there was one other thing, and then bowling. and we were going to end with bowling. But by the time I think we ate. By the time we ate and finished, apparently the bowling alley had closed early that night. So when we got there was only 30 minutes left. So that's why we only got to do the jump park.
Yeah, it wasn't that much fun of a birthday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of something Chaka did. It was just circumstances that led up to that time. Have you ever done a bad birthday for you? Or if you can't say if I've ever done a bad birthday for you, what was your least favorite birthday? Because I'm pretty sure I was messing it up.
That's a setup.
I mean, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, all of them were great, right? But this one might not have been as good as the other 9. You know what I'm saying?
So it's not that I don't have a birthday that was bad. I'll put it that way. Troy does a really good job of planning birthdays. He's exceptional. My challenge is sometimes I have an idea of what I want. And so again, like I said earlier, your version of how to execute it might be different than mine. And I think that's probably what has happened. I know at least once. So again, going back to my 30th, it was a great time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was not I guess it wasn't necessarily to the standard that I had, not standard, I don't even know how to say it, but like for instance, when I thought of my 30th birthday and I said I want an all white birthday, I actually thought of almost like a wedding setup where I'd have fabric, that was white hanging from the ceiling, just kind of glamour, like a really, really girly.
You wanted that Tyler Perry just got married type of joint, that having people hanging from the ceiling type of birthday party.
I wanted the acrobats and all that stuff.
No, I was still in grad school,
but okay.
I was broke.
No, it wasn't, and it wasn't the financial part of it. The challenge was, again, my birthday's in January, and wanting people to be dressed in all white in January, if you don't give them enough notice, is hard. Where are you finding white clothes to buy or wear for January, first of all, especially if you're a guy, and so that's hard enough. You have to tell people, just like, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but for our wedding, we had a particular flower we wanted, a particular color, that kind of thing. But unfortunately, the time that we started planning our wedding was not the season for that color or those flowers. So we had to change it because the color we wanted, to have for the bridesmaid dresses and things like that, weren't available to purchase at the time that we picked our colors. And then the flower we wanted, they weren't selling it at the time in October we wanted it. So it's kind of like the same thing, we had it at a Boys and Girls Club, which was nice. It was really very spacious. We had our wedding anniversary there too, but there's not a whole lot you can do to decorate a gym. So it's kind of like you got to work around it and use your imagination. So I think that was part of the challenge. It was just this is a big space. I don't know how long it took to put it together. I had fun. I enjoyed myself. But that was all.
So speaking of that birthday specifically, there were, our birthdays, both of them fall in the wintertime. Mm-hmm. For that specific birthday, the 30th, talking about pros and cons of our birthdays. The con for this birthday is that 2 things that are wrong with Chaka's birthday. One thing's wrong with mine. The one that we both share that is wrong is that our birthdays are in the winter, so there's a great chance that there's going to snow. So it's really hard to make plans for said birthday. And so that's the bad thing. The second problem that's wrong with Chaka's birthday, well, actually, let me talk about the snow. So Chaka's birthday for the 30th, it was great. We enjoyed ourselves and stuff like that. Her parents, her mom, her sister, her brother came in, stayed for 2 hours, and then had to leave because there was a call for a big snow. And, we thinking, it's not going to snow. Oh, it snowed. Yeah. And it snowed and it snowed. I'm talking about to the point. some of her girlfriends who came in end up having to stay like 3 days, 3 or 4 days.
It wasn't that many days, but they had planned to check out the next day, like the next morning, and wound up having to stay an extra day.
Oh, it was crazy.
So it was
crazy.
Bad enough. And it was also bad enough that a couple people who wanted to come because of the anticipated snow,
They couldn't.
Yeah. So
that's one thing.
So that's also a reason why I don't have birthday parties in January anymore.
And the other bad part is Chaka's birthday somehow, some way, always falls on the same weekend as the Super Bowl. Yes. That's the part that always sucks.
Yeah.
Because
like this year.
Yep, this year your birthday is on the Saturday.
On Friday. The Super Bowl is on Sunday. So, and I mean, there's probably like a few years where that doesn't happen just because my birthday's, I think because it's always the first Sunday. So say my birthday was on a Sunday, then Super Bowl would be the next weekend, which is great because then that whole weekend's mine. But if my birthday is any time before that Sunday, obviously then Super Bowl happens. So trying to plan a party or an event for that time when everybody's planning their own parties and big events is challenging too. Like say I want to have a Saturday night party and everybody's getting their houses ready for the Sunday
Super
game.
Bowl. Mm-hmm.
So thanks, Mom.
So yeah, those are the cons of our birthdays. I would say one of the pros for my birthday is my birthday falls around the time of tax time. Mm-hmm. That's great. I'm not gonna lie, there's been a couple times growing up as a kid that my mom would tell me is like, look, I can't get you today, but I'm gonna get you in 2 weeks. Are you gonna be able to get the things that I wanted? Yes. I don't care. I will wait.
Well, that's also a pro for both of us because this morning when Troy and I were talking, I said, do you realize that both of our birthdays fall on paydays?
They do fall on payday. I didn't realize that.
Mine is the last of the month and his is the 15th.
That's crazy. I totally forgot that you told me that.
So that's great. That's an excuse to go out and have fun, to have food, to have gifts, all that great stuff because we get paid on that day. Everybody gets paid on that day mostly, so.
Hey, every day, every day, every day, every day. No, that's Crossroads. Hold on. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Cash some checks and come on. Get up, get up, get up. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Okay. Little mini our desk concert that we doing for y'all.
Throwback. We just aged ourselves.
We definitely did because I'm guaranteeing there's a lot of people who don't. I asked somebody the other day. I said, do you know who not R. Kelly? I'm sorry, LL Cool J is? Didn't he play on that TV show? Who is he again? I was like, you don't know who LL Cool J is.
I told you there's a couple of times when I've been in my office, I'm calling you guys out, and I have made a comment about something and they're like, who or what?
Oh my gosh.
And it's not that it's a person everybody should know about. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about a thing. And this isn't one of them, but like say for instance, I mentioned a payphone and they're like, what's a payphone? But that wasn't one of them. They know what a payphone is, but there was something basic like that I guess it was before their time. So this is another thing that I have realized, and this is something cool about a lot of us, right? Whenever we tell our kids how old we are, we're going to be able to say, I was born in the 1900s.
Wow, that's crazy.
Did you guys ever think about that?
And that's funny. It's funny because my great-grandfather was born 1900? 1900? I'm sorry. Lord, have mercy. My education has filled me deeply, and I can't articulate.
So, for the record, too, we're also taping this late at night.
It is.
So
it's kind of late.
We normally do these in the morning.
You're right.
Yeah. We're definitely doing this.
But 1900, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. But I can literally say, like in future generations, like with our kids and stuff like that, it'd be like, yo, I was born in the 1900s. But
I remember thinking, just to say like my grandfather was born in 1923 was crazy because I'm like, I can't imagine that far back. And, that seemed like a whole other life, other lifetime to me. And now that we're in the 2000s and I've had this epiphany that anybody born in this decade, in this century, can't say what we can say. I was like, wow, that's another crossover thing for us. What generation, whatever they call us now, or whatever they're trying to call us.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to call us. I thought we was Generation X, but then they tried to make us Generation...
post millennials. Oh, that's what it is. I think we're called pre-millennials or something like that. So they're trying to make a new category of people who are born between, I think it's 1970 something and 1983. It's apparently supposed to be that, or 88. I think it's apparently supposed to be that transition period when technology was kicking up. And so they're trying to now make this, I guess, 20-year period its own age gap or its own age range or whatever. Because apparently if you're born from 1980 on, you're considered a millennial. But they forget that those of us in the 80s had a lot of experiences that those in the 70s and 60s had, because there wasn't a whole lot of change that was happening at that point, at least not in technology.
It's crazy how, like, you could play a song from the 60s or the 70s and I can easily like pick up with it, because those two generations, those two decades carried over into the 80s with me. And I was able to remember the songs from the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that.
Well, and another thing, we were part of that last period where there was still innovation, creativity, and revelation, I would consider it. Because now, and you know, this is one of my pet peeves, now everything is a repeat. There's nothing new under the sun, as they would say. A movie is now in its third part. They're now telling the backstories of stuff that was out before. They're now doing a lot more sampling, and the sampling's obvious. They're just changing, a little bit of a song from back in the time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I likes a good sample song. I likes me a good sample song.
Yeah,
that was not good
I'm surprised
English,
to hear that from you, an artist. To hear that you,
I've sampled a lot.
I mean, I would imagine though that as an artist, you would probably prefer originality.
That is true. However, on my first project that I ever did, I sampled a lot.
But don't you think that was because you were new?
I was new, yeah.
As opposed to like...
But I also like some of the old sounds. Like I can, like I was watching the Wu-Tang Story on Hulu. And just hearing how RZA made some of his beats based off on loops that he found in the crates and stuff like that. Like, there are some really good sounds that if you capture them just correctly and amplify this and add that and do this to it, tweak this, you can make something beautiful.
Oh yeah, I agree. But the crazy part about that is someone at some point had to be the original. They had to make that sound, and then people are just using it over and over again, which is great. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But at the same time, I would expect the library of artistry to continue to grow instead of kind of being complacent or being I'm using my words so wrong today, but instead of it just being left where it was. And so that's my thing. I don't mind if you want to sample. I don't mind if you want to use, pay homage, please. Remember your forefathers and their greatness, but contribute too, like add to it, make it bigger, because what's going to happen is another decade from now or 20 years from now, there's not going to be anything new for people. They're just going to be more of the old stuff. And right now we're in a part where it's just a repeat, but then when you repeat it a third time, it's just old. And I mean, still classic, but again, I would rather listen to the original for some of this stuff anyway.
So I want to get back onto the birthdays. So we talked about our present birthdays and our time together. Let's go back in the day and talk about birthdays in which, like, when growing up as a kid. What were some of your or pre Chaka and Troy? What were some of your best birthdays? I'll let you think. I'm gonna bring up my most favorite birthday growing up as a kid. or period.
Oh, I know mine. I don't have to even think about it.
I totally blanked. I'm not even sure.
Mine is not an actual birthday itself. Mine is how my parents used to do my birthdays. So my sister and I are actually the same. My sister's 5 days older than Troy. So it's crazy. So my sister and I are also only about 2 weeks apart. And so, my parents would do the combined birthday thing where it's like you pick 4 friends, you pick 4 friends, and we're going to have a birthday party for the 2 of you at the same time on the same day. And I hated that because, when you're 4 and 8, it's probably, okay. But when you're like 16 and 12, or I don't know, at some point you start realizing that the little kids are at your party. And it's, you know what I mean? And it's not so cool. And so I did not like that. And I said, I would never do that. It's kind of like, and I feel bad, I've always felt bad for your grandma because her birthday is on Christmas Day.
It is on Christmas Day.
And then I had an aunt whose birthday was on Christmas Day as well. And my thought is, and these are not small families. They have lots of kids. So then I'm like, how do you make a child feel special on their day when their day is also everyone else's? And so that's kind of the feeling that I had. It's like, well, this is supposed to be, we'd have it in the middle, I think. And it's like, but this is supposed to be my day or my event. My birthday's already happened. So that's one thing. I'm having to wait to have my party or my sleepover or whatever it is. But then I have to share it with my sibling and we don't want the same things, So it was kind of like.
That could definitely be devastating and may cause some resentment between you and your sibling. And they didn't even do anything. They were just born.
Yeah.
They didn't even do anything.
Now, the cool thing is my sister and I are only 4 years apart. And there was a point in our life where the change happened. And then she was like one of my best friends. And so it was cool. We have great summers that we can remember. And I think at that point to have a birthday party, and then we had the same friends at school kind of because we did sports together and things like that. So at that point, having a birthday party with my sister would have been fabulous. But I think that was also the time when my mom stopped doing birthday parties and my dad stopped doing birthday parties.
So, I was just now thinking it just a few minutes ago. I have one favorite birthday, and I really don't pre us. And a lot of my other birthdays were quite tragic now that I think about it. So here's one that I do remember. When I turned 21. That's the legal age of being able to drink. And at that time I didn't drink, due to, convictions that I had at that time. And, I was like, I don't drink. So what can I do for my birthday? Because 21's known to be like, oh, you turned 21, let's go to the bar, let's go drink. And so what I did instead was, I had my mom found like these apple ciders that were like $1 and they were amazing. Like the dollar store used to sell them and they were amazing. So I was like, Ma, can you buy me 21 of those apple ciders for my birthday? And she did. And what I did was I went around my college dorm and the dorm right next to ours, and I passed out apple ciders. And I said, you know what? I can't drink on this day, but that doesn't mean that you can't. And I gave them apple ciders. They was like, Troy, let me find out you turning up on your birthday. And they look at the bottle like, oh man, it's some apple cider. But they enjoyed. I really enjoyed giving a gift that time. The other time, now I'm thinking about all the other birthdays that I had. They were quite tragic. At 16 I got a car, so that was awesome. But when I turned 16, and then but when I turned 20, the day before I turned 20, I crashed my car. That was devastating. Then let me go back even further. When I turned 13. We had a skating party. You know what I'm saying? Like the skating ring was the thing. And here's the sad part. I just read an article that said they shut down the skating ring in Martinsville. That's so sad. That's so sad. But anyway, I had a birthday party that was the place to have your birthday back in the day, especially for a 13-year-old, you know what I'm saying? So we go into the skating ring and I sent out the invitations and everything. And it was two main people that I really wanted to come to my birthday party. And I'm going to say y'all's name, Paul and Jamie, okay? Y'all was in my homeroom class, and y'all was the first ones to get invitations. I was like, yeah, my boy's definitely going to come because we wrestled. We were on a wrestling team together and stuff like that. Come to I asked them all the way up until my birthday. Y'all coming to my birthday party, right? You coming to my birthday party, right? Yeah, man, we coming. Both of them on my birthday. Neither one of them showed up. And I still feel some type of way.
Oh no, he has another duck. You'll have to watch another podcast to understand the duck.
Yeah, y'all didn't come. And here's another bad part about that joint too. My mother got in a car accident.
Wow.
She got in a car accident like a couple days prior to it, and she was in the hospital. That was a real tragic birthday. Then on my 22nd birthday, I broke up with my girlfriend at that time. On my birthday.
Ooh.
After we celebrated it.
You also did that on your 26th. Not my 26th. We got married when I was 26. What are you talking about? No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. You were 30.
Oh, you're right. So it wasn't your...
It was my 22nd.
Oh, that is. You're right.
Yeah, it was my 22nd.
Ooh.
If I was dating somebody at the age of 26 and I broke up with you the year that I got married and I was hiding you, hey, don't come out the woodworks and say anything because you don't know about you.
You know what? That was so inappropriate. That was so inappropriate. We're gonna do a podcast on marriage and past relationships and all this and faithfulness and all this other stuff.
Here's the birthdays that I remember the most and I appreciated the most were the ones where I just had a cake. Somebody handed me some money, maybe some gifts and stuff like that, and that was it. My grandmother, she used to get me cakes that had like a screen print on it and stuff like that. And so one year she took I think she took like my junior year photo of high school and had it printed on there. Like that was super dope. One year she had a bulldog because of my high school mascot was the bulldog. Like those were some of my favorite birthdays. And here's one thing, I don't know if this is just in the African American community that we do, but for some strange reason, like it went from having birthdays to like taking you out to eat. And that's your birthday.
It's called you're older. You know now that, money doesn't grow on trees and it gets more expensive when you're older. I think it's a financial thing. It's a financial thing.
I want the turn up.
And the planning time.
Because on my 18th birthday, they took me out to Ranya's, which is a really nice restaurant. And I really do like that restaurant. But I wanted to turn up. I was 18.
So...
That actually happened to you, right?
What, the turn up?
No, you had one of your big birthdays. Y'all just went to go eat.
Yeah, my 16th. So I had a choice. Do you want a big 16th birthday party or do you want a big 18th? And my 18th birthday obviously was my graduation year, so I wanted a big birthday party for my 18th. Plus, I'm going to be older, and I think that would matter more. And so for my 16th, my mom and someone else took me out for my birthday, and that's what we did. We just had a dinner, which was really nice. They shared words of wisdom, but there was no party, no event, I didn't hang out with my girls, like none of that. And so, getting older, I'm kind of like, maybe I should have chose my 16th, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have had to choose between my 16th and my 18th, which are both big years, because I didn't have a sweet 16. And I I didn't think that was fair.
Is a Sweet 16 really, was that really like big, or
It's still big.
was it big because of the concept of, you know, there used to be a TV show called My Sweet 16. Mm-hmm. Like, who made that a thing?
I don't know. It's some sort of rite of passage. I don't know exactly what makes the 16 and 15 different. I can understand what makes 16 and 13 different, but in my mind, then you should probably celebrate your 13th because that's your first teen year, or you should celebrate your 19th because that's your last, 19 kind of deal, or your 17th because that's your last technical teen. But for some reason, 16 was the year that they chose. Maybe it has something to do with back in the day and people were getting married. I mean, if you think about it, back in the 1800s, people were married at 16. Like,
that is true.
They were.
That is very true. So maybe it carried
babies
over from previous centuries of like.
Maybe. I don't know.
We should have did some research before we started this, but we didn't.
But no, it's big. So for me now, if I had to choose between, like, what would I do for my birthday? So I had shared this with Troy. I actually like parties. There's not a lot of opportunities for us to actually go out and have an excuse to dance or have all of our friends, in one location at one time to just kind of take it back. But because I also have an idea of how I'd like to do it, and I know that I'm very, very considerate. And so it's hard for me to plan an event for myself without me thinking about everyone else and what everyone else is going to like or what everyone else is going to want. And the headache of that actually takes some of the joy and celebrating out of it for me. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, it's so much better to me when we just do stuff together, because then I don't have to compromise. Then I know the focus is on me. I'm not the one having to worry about someone else's happiness or if they're going to appreciate it or come or whatever. And so for that reason, I just like the intimate birthdays we've been having for the last several years.
That is one of the biggest parts why I'm afraid to have a birthday party for myself, is because we do have friends that live inside of our city, but like our close friends live in other cities, some other states. Chaka has two good friends that live in California, and it's not easy to be like, hey, won't you come on over for this birthday party?
Yeah.
Take this $500 flight over. You know what I'm saying, that you got to pay out of your own pocket. I wouldn't feel comfortable someone asking me to do that, and I wouldn't feel comfortable asking someone else to do it. So it's really tough for us sometimes to be like, I'm having a birthday party, won't you come? Because just to think about the stuff that people, but here's the crazy part. On the flip side, somebody out of state will invite us to their birthday party and we will make the effort to come to it.
Yeah.
Easily.
We try to save those requests for big events.
Right.
So it's kind of like, do I want to ask this person to come for my birthday? Or do I want to wait until this next, life-changing event happens or qualifying event happens and then ask them to come to that? And usually we're like, we'll wait for that qualifying event that has yet to happen before we ask people to make the hop, skip, and a jump. Another thing that's crazy for us is, at least for me, again, being a decade baby, we also got married in a decade, like an actual, when I say that, I mean, like, we got married in 2010.
In the 10 marks.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And I was born in 1980. So those years are always going to be big for us. So this year, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary.
10-year anniversary.
Yes. In October, we'll have been married for 10 years. So then the dilemma this year was, with me turning 40, us having our 10-year, do I want to do a big event for my birthday, or do I want to wait and do a big event for our anniversary? Same group of friends involved, same kind of planning, and possibly same finances. So having to choose which one is always going to be a challenge, because when I turn 50, it's going to be our
20th anniversary.
Exactly.
That's crazy. I just realized that.
Exactly. So then part of that is just planning. But again, wanting to ask those friends if we wanted to have an anniversary celebration,
right,
or a vow renewal, it would be do you want to come to Chaka's 50th birthday party, or do you want to wait and come to that vow renewal or, wedding turn up, whatever, anniversary turn up. So.
Yeah. Anything else, babe, you want to talk about our birthdays?
No, I'm curious to hear about other people, like how they like to celebrate their birthdays and what kind of events or not events. On your birthday, what do you like to do? Like, what is one of the things that you would put at the top of your list on your birthday?
Comments below.
Yes.
Comment and tell us what is one way you would really love to celebrate your birthday, and tell us one of the worst birthdays you've ever had. Yes,
I was thinking
before.
that too.
That would be awesome. So, I guess that's it, babe.
That's it.
That's all we got. I went by pretty quickly. It was a solid hour.
It was. This is a fun way to do the last 30 for me.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it was. It was kind of fun going down memory lane and thinking about the birthdays and the different celebrations that we've had and things like that. And it kind of it makes me think now, like, what do I want to do in the future? Now that it's out there, like, what would I like to do? So it's really fun to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So next time we see y'all, we don't know. We do got some recordings coming up. We got some exciting things coming up. I don't want to spill too many beans about that, but and stick around. We got some more exciting podcasts to come. It's been your boy Troy
and your girl Chaka
for Beauty and the Beard. Peace out, guys. Love y'all.
Bye.
I would kiss you, but you got lipstick on.
Oh, we can fake.
I don't want to fake it. How am I gonna fake a kiss?
Want to cheek it?
Yeah.
Love you.
Peace for real.